Muhammad told you to take the Quran from. Here's my question. Is Uthman part of this list?
No.
Is Zayd bin Thabit part of this list?
No.
Is Hisham part of this list?
No.
Very good. We got somebody who Muhammad, the Prophet ﷺ, told everyone to take the Quran from him along with 3 others. And according to him, who Muhammad said take the Quran from him, he disagreed with what Uthman put in his codex. Does it matter that Ibn Masud, the one who Muhammad said take the Quran from, has disagreement with Uthman?
Actually, Ibn Masud was wrong at this point because he was right.
Life, do you mind joining me in a moment of silence? We have just lost Ibn Masud. He was thrown under the bus, ran over. He's bleeding out, twitching because of the wheels, broken bones and all. Let's have a moment of silence for the companion, the honorable companion, Ibn Masud. All right, Ahmed, you're on stage. What's up, bro?
I'm fine.
Awesome, man. So we're talking about the preservation of the Quran. You think it's preserved perfectly?
Yeah, it's totally preserved.
Totally preserved. Life, you got something to say about that?
Yeah, so I've read the hadith which you have quoted, and I have a great interpretation for that.
Okay, well, what about the manuscripts of the Quran?
Yes, so I'm going to tell you something very important. First of all, we believe as Muslims that the Quran was preserved orally and textually. But the thing is that it was preserved orally better. And it was also preserved textually, but I do agree that some manuscripts of the Quran, like Sana'a manuscript, there are some errors in those manuscripts. But if some manuscripts have these errors on a local level, this does not mean that the whole Quran is corrupted and we couldn't preserve the Quran even orally. This is something else. So I'll love to talk about the hadith first, so because you have quoted, and this is such an important topic. And you know that all these arguments are totally old. Nothing is new. And the Muslim scholars have replied so much, but you people don't listen to them. So I'm going to reply now. First of all, I'm going to refute your argument about...
One second, okay? So we'll go slowly, because we did just get done talking a little bit about this oral side. I wanna touch on the textual preservation as well, and then we can also talk about the hadith, okay? Because both are important. I agree, both are important. And I think textual preservation is extremely important. And I'm glad that you're able to see, like, there are some manuscripts within the, when it comes to the Qurans, like the Sana'a manuscript, that have some errors there. And so this is what will bring some questions to this. Life, throwing an alley-oop to you, man. He says that the Quran is, preserved orally better than it was preserved textually.
Yes.
What do you think about his but he still believes that it's textually preserved.
Right. So you said that it was preserved orally better. So would you say that this would go back to the beginning? Like for example, like the people that wrote the Quran down.
Okay.
Did they memorize the Quran orally?
Yeah, it does go to the beginning.
Right. So those guys would be able to write down accurately what they heard Muhammad say, right?
Yes, I'm going to tell you something which you might not know. So first of all, we Muslims, you have to listen to me first, so you have to understand. We Muslims have millions of people in the world who memorize the Quran. So, and there are thousands of people who have chains of narrators, just like a hadith, and they say that they heard the Quran from their teacher, and their teacher heard the same Quran, 6,236 verses from his teacher. And
that doesn't help.
His teacher.
That doesn't help you though. That makes it worse. That makes it worse because you're saying all of these people memorized the Quran. Did all of these people memorize what Muhammad said accurately?
Yes, because thousands of people
brother,
totally agree on the same Quran.
Hold on, Ahmed. I don't need a detailed explanation for everything that you answer at this moment. I just want to know, do you agree that if you're saying all of these people memorize the Quran, you agree that they memorize what Muhammad said accurately? So what about the people that wrote, my brother? So what about the people that wrote the Quran down? Did they also memorize what Muhammad said accurately?
Yes. So the professional scribes of the Quran used to write what they actually heard and what was actually precise at that time.
Got it. So if I show you something that they wrote originally and it was erased and changed, then that would mean that, how does that work?
Show me something right now, other than these Sana'a manuscripts, or, you know.
Yeah, sure. Let me. Add this on stage.
Should I just go ahead and read some super chats, big dog?
Nah, I got it.
Oh, okay.
Go ahead and read some super chats, big dog. All right. So you see this right here, bro?
Top copy manuscript.
Yeah, so this isn't the Sanaa. See, y'all be watching us. Y'all be thinking we got the same thing every time, and we switch it up around here.
Listen to me. Can I speak for just for a few seconds? This manuscript, top copy manuscript, was written like after 200 years, not exactly after the death of the Prophet.
My brother, I'm showing you that if the writers of the Quran actually memorized, your argument is that people memorized what Muhammad said.
Yeah, but some people can make mistakes because they are human beings.
It doesn't matter. Look, it doesn't. I'm not arguing when a specific manuscript was scribed. I'm showing you that if you're saying that these people had miraculous memory and they remembered what he said, then that means that the writers would also memorize what they said as well too. So,
but rather it depends on the quality of the scribes.
My brother, you can't have it both ways. You can't say everybody memorized the Quran, but when the people who wrote the Quran down memorized it as well too, made mistakes. It's either they memorized
some bad writers.
Brother, you got to let me get into the manuscript, please, because you're just trying to give me stuff that's irrelevant. It's not irrelevant, or, bro. It's either or. It's either they memorized what he said accurately or they didn't. You already said yes. So let's.
No, not all of them. Listen to me. So I have to justify this. So you have to listen to me.
Right, so before you go, did the writers of the Quran memorize what Muhammad said accurately? You said yes.
Yes. Some of them memorized precisely, and some of them made mistakes.
Now some of them. Now that I showed you the manuscript, now it's some of them. You see the problem? My brother, please give me a second. Do you see the problem that we have when we have these discussions with Muslims? As soon as you asked me for the information, I present it, and now you shifted and moved the goalposts. So I'm still going to ask you about this regardless. Here in the manuscript, it says, you know what we conceal and what he revealed, rather than the standard reading, you know what we conceal and what we reveal. This does fit the overall narrative context and theology of the Quran, though there was an awkward change of person in a direct address.
Okay, so can I answer
which one of these claims is right?
Can you tell me what is the chapter and what verse is this, by the way?
It's right here, my brother. Chapter 14, verse 38.
And the Arabic word is, let me see, yu'lin instead of tu'lin. Yeah. Okay, so this is a mistake. I'm familiar with that. You are showing something I already know. I know that these mistakes were made by some scribes at that time, and they used to add these things in the manuscripts. I know that. But the problem is that this does not prove.
Wait a minute. I thought you said, okay, so let me get this straight. So they did make mistakes when writing the Quran. So then that breaks your understanding that everybody memorized the Quran and knew what Muhammad said accurately.
I didn't say that. I didn't say everybody. I said that
you were the one that, as soon as you came on stage, you said, I want to let you know something about Muslims. And you gave this big number of how many people memorize the Quran. And I said, can we apply that? And I said, can we apply that to the writers? As soon as I went into the scribes and what they wrote, then you changed your answer to try to wiggle out of this. So I would like I want you to give me I want you to give me a real response as why you know which one of these is wrong and which one of these is right.
Okay, so I have to speak for that. So I'll have to speak for like 2 minutes or 3 minutes without.
You're not speaking for 3 minutes. Yeah.
Now it's my time.
You can respond, but not 3 minutes, man.
Okay, but I have to speak because this is actually a detailed topic. Not this is not something which I have to speak now. So how do I know that actually the word in the Quran is yu'lin instead of tu'lin, which is a mistake in this manuscript? Because brother, I have verified. Not one person, not 2 person, not 5%. You can meet thousands of persons in Algeria, in Saudi Arabia, in Tunisia, which will say that I heard my teacher saying yu'lin, and his teacher told him that the word was yu'lin, and his teacher told him. And the same thing will be told by someone, and you can get this statement from thousands of people. And obviously, these thousands of people, these narrators and these chains of narrators are not wrong. So by bringing 10 manuscripts which contain some errors or some basic mistakes, this does not break the tawatur. We use a term in Arabic which is said at-tawatur, which means something which was transmitted orally in a great quantity which you cannot deny. So if there are some mistakes in these manuscripts, like 5 to 6 manuscripts, this just is not relevant.
My brother, what did you guys memorize? Did you guys memorize the standard reading you have today? Or
yes.
All right. Now, has that been proven to go all the way back to Muhammad as the accurate original statement of what he said?
Yes, the Birmingham manuscript dates back to 568 AD to 645 AD.
Okay, so the problem with that statement is these manuscripts that have readings and texts under it that show that it read different prior to the Uthman's, burning of the books and etc. Prior to Uthman doing that, we have evidence that these manuscripts were altered and to change to fit Uthman's standard narrative. So when you say my brother, you just went for like 20 minutes. When you say that everybody memorized it, therefore I'm good, and I can just say what they memorized of the Uthman's standard version, you're just basically saying, I agree with Uthman, and anything that goes against Uthman is wrong. Anything that goes with Uthman is right. The reason why you think that you guys have it is because you are literally forced to conform to the Uthmanic standard version, because he literally got rid of all the other material that could help our case to prove him wrong. Luckily, there is material out there that survived on the manuscripts and the lower texts as well to prove that this was conducted. But so much of your manuscript history has been tampered with that it's hard to actually pull out what the original Quran actually was. So you think that you're giving me the right answer by saying, oh, it's Uthman's version, that's the right one. The problem is that we have overwhelming evidence that there was a version or a reading that differed from the Uthmanic version prior to this. So just saying a bunch of people memorized his version doesn't help you. So can you give a better answer other than multiple people memorized his version?
Okay, so can I answer no? Okay, I'll listen to it carefully, and this is also an old argument. I've heard that many times. So the problem is that you are saying one name, Uthman. brother, Uthman was not the only person who invented the Quran. It is actually thousands of the companions of the Prophet agreed with Uthman. So if Uthman altered something in the Quran, we would say like at least one companion will disagree. But the problem is that
Ibn
all the
Masud.
companions, Imam Ali,
Sorry.
no. Ibn Masud, what did he say? He used to believe that the last two surahs of the Quran are not actually the part of the Quran. But he later changed his opinion, changed his mind later.
Depending on where life was to go, I can show you where Ibn Masud
Yes, I know.
disagreed, and Abu Darda disagreed with what you have today in your Quran.
Yeah,
Ibn Masud.
Right.
give me like 5 minutes because he doesn't want to deal with the manuscripts. He actually wants to deal with oral. So I think he is more equipped to have a discussion with you because he just keeps going back to what people memorized, but he can only stop at the Uthmanic Codex. I'm going pre-Uthmanic Codex.
Right.
I'm showing you things that existed before that were distorted and changed to match with what he has. If all you're gonna do, if all of your responses is just, well, people memorized it, so therefore Uthman's version is right. I don't think you're able to discuss with me. I just want to ask you this question, and then you and Logic can take it off. When someone's ready to deal with the manuscripts honestly, then we can rock. Are you saying, do you agree that your Quran was not textually preserved? Like you said, it was orally, right? So are you saying, was your Quran textually preserved or not?
It was textually preserved like 70%, not 100%, but orally 100%.
Right. So it wasn't 100% textually preserved. Thank you. Therefore, you just admitted that your perfect preservation claim cannot be proven. It can't be proven, bro.
It is preserved orally.
Oral is one of the worst ways to prove perfect preservation of a text that you have. Yes,
this is something your own listeners don't even know. Right there.
You just said your Quran. You just said your Quran was 70% preserved. That means it's not 100%. That means it's not 100% preserved. That means 30%.
No, it is 100% preserved orally.
That means 30% of your Quran is not preserved. What do you mean by 30% of your Quran is not preserved?
Textually, there are some errors in the early manuscripts.
Okay, so what do you just make it a little bit more clear? What do you mean by 30% of your Quran is not preserved?
No, it doesn't matter because we have evidences for the oral preservation. And we have, like not one person.
It's okay, brother. All you know is what is oral. Everybody remembers stuff. We don't need words. We don't need letters on paper. It's fine. Logic. I'll talk to the next guy.
Okay. Yeah. So you have Ibn Masud's Quran disagreeing with the Quran that you have today, right? So what you're saying traces back to Uthman.
No, Ibn Mas'ud, listen to me. You'll speak always, but you don't let me speak. So Ibn Mas'ud was a companion who used to disagree in the beginning.
I know who Ibn Mas'ud. I know who he was. You don't have to tell me who he was.
No, I'm telling you that he used to disagree in the beginning that the last two surahs of the Quran, Al-Falaq and An-Nas, he used to say that these two surahs are not from the Quran. But he changed his mind later.
Okay, that's cool and all. But look at this.
Yes.
Narrated Ibrahim, the companions of Abdullah bin Masud came to Abu Darda. He looked for them and found them. Then he asked them, "Who among you can recite as Abdullah recites?" They replied, "All of us." He asked, "Who among you knows it by heart?" They pointed at Alqamah. Then he asked Alqamah, "How did you hear Abdullah bin Masud reciting Surah Al-Layl, which is 92 verse 3? Alqamah recited, "By the male and the female." Abu Darda said, "I testify that I heard the Prophet reciting it likewise, but these people want me to recite it, and by him who has created the male and the female.
Yeah.
But by Allah, I will not follow them."
Yeah. Sure. So
did
can I speak? I know this.
Did they disagree with what you have today?
So what we Muslims believe is that this verse وَمَا خَلَقَ الذَّكَرَ وَالْأُنْثَى in Arabic. So this verse is proved by the Prophet, peace be upon him, in two ways, and both of the verses are correct. So some companions heard it.
I'm not interested in you saying both are correct. My only interest is, did the companions disagree with what you have in your Quran?
Yes, they used to disagree, and it's sad.
So remember, you said that none of the companions disagreed with what Uthman put into the Quran, and yet we have some of the companions disagreeing with what Uthman had in the Quran.
Only one person, and he did not disagree totally. Just one or two surahs. Just one or two surahs.
Oh, so now it's just one or two surahs. Notice, it doesn't matter if it's one or two surahs, one or two ayat, one word of an ayat. If they are disagreeing at any form of what Uthman put into the Quran, that gets rid of your point. Please. Hold on. That gets rid of the point that you made, that all thousands of the companions agreed with Uthman's codex, and none of them, not one, disagreed with what Uthman put into his Quran. We have a couple. We have Ibn Masud and his crew with Abu Darda disagreeing with what Uthman had in his Quran.
Okay, so I'm going to answer now. So you know how many companions there were at that time? 150,000. But you cannot bring just only like 3 persons. Ibn Mas'ud, okay. So what about, like Ali bin Abi Talib, alayhi salam, or, what was his name? Ubay bin Ka'b, and many. You've left thousands of people and just bringing only 1 or 2 person from an unknown hadith and saying, no, this is not actually.
You said an unknown hadith?
Yeah, many Muslims don't even know this hadith, even the scholars.
Okay, wait, time out. Muslims being ignorant of your own sources says nothing about the truth in regards to your old sources. I don't care how many of you guys know it or not. It's there. It's in Bukhari. This isn't some unknown hadith. Bukhari collected this, right?
Yeah, al-Bukhari.
Okay, so this isn't unknown. Maybe you guys, like you said, you and even some scholars don't know about this, but this is known by by your most authentic collection of hadith. And so therefore, right. So within this hadith, you don't just have one, you got Abu Darda and the people who learned, the companions of Abdullah bin Masud. So you have Abdullah bin Masud and his companions and Abu Darda disagreeing with what Uthman put in his Quran, disagreeing with what you have in your Quran today.
Okay, brother, now you have to listen to me. Let's say I don't know Ibn Mas'ud. I don't know anyone from the companions. I don't know anyone. But the point is that when we travel to any Muslim country in the world, like Saudi, Algeria, Tunisia, anywhere, we will meet 1 million students who memorize the Quran with chains of narrators who don't even mention Uthman or Ibn Mas'ud, but the chains of narrators go back to the Prophet, peace be upon him, and they tell his teacher told him that the Prophet read the Quran this way, and his teacher told his teacher that the Prophet read the Quran this way. And we have millions of examples, not like you are bringing just one reference or two, and this is natural. So people.
Do you know who Ibn Mas'ud is?
Yeah, he is a companion, but he was not infallible.
No. What's special about Ibn Mas'ud? What makes him? Sorry, what makes him unique? What makes Ibn Mas'ud unique?
Ibn Mas'ud used to teach the Quran. He was a Quran teacher, and he used to teach students.
There were a lot of Quran teachers. What makes Ibn Mas'ud special?
Ibn Mas'ud narrated many hadith.
That's not what makes him special. Aisha also narrated many hadith. So did Abu Hudayfa. Who cares? What makes Ibn Mas'ud special? Do you know?
I didn't say he's special.
I know you don't. So you don't know what you didn't even know that Ibn Mas'ud is special. Let me show you, okay?
Show me.
Let me show you. Okay. This is Jami at-Tirmidhi 3810. Narrated Abdullah bin Amr that the Messenger of Allah said, "Take the Quran from 4, from Ibn Mas'ud, Ubay bin Ka'b, Muad bin Jabal, and Salim, the freed slave of Abu Hudayfa. Ibn Masud is one of the four that Muhammad told you to take the Quran from. Here's my question. Is Uthman part of this list?
No.
Is Zayd bin Thabit part of this list?
No, not according to this hadith.
Is Hisham part of this list?
No, only for Ibn Mas'ud, Ubay bin Ka'b, Mu'adh bin Jabal, and Salim.
Very good. So what we have here is not just some flimsy companion of the Prophet who used to recite the Quran or even teach it.
I agree. I agree.
We got somebody who Muhammad, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, told everyone to take the Quran from him along with three others. And according to him, who Muhammad said take the Quran from him, he disagreed with what Uthman put in his codex.
Okay. Can I speak now? My question it is a very important question.
Does that matter?
Why the other three people, Ubay bin Ka'b, Mu'adh bin Jabal, and Salim?
I don't care about the other three right now. I care about I care right now. We could get into Ubay bin Ka'b later, disagreeing with what Uthman had. Right now, I'm focusing on one of these four. Ibn Masud. Does it matter that Ibn Masud, the one who Muhammad said take the Quran from, has disagreement with Uthman? Does that matter?
Yeah. Actually, Ibn Mas'ud was wrong at this point because he was right. No, what is the problem? He was not infallible. He was not an angel. He was not a prophet. He was just a companion, a great companion and a great reciter who was, according to the Prophet, a great reciter of the Quran. I'm not saying that it is something unimportant, but the point is that why Ibn Mas'ud is disagreeing when other millions of the companions are agreeing, and we have millions of people today who testify that this Quran is from the Prophet through the chains of the narrators, and they're
I got authentic. You, brother. All right, Ahmed, thank you so much. I got a lot of guests to get to. I appreciate your you engaging, man. Appreciate it. Appreciate your demeanor. You were very respectful. So we appreciate you, man.
Remember, just last thing.
No, that's it, brother. Yeah, yes. That's it. I gotta get moving on. I gotta move on. All right. Okay, appreciate you though, man. God bless you, bro. Life. Do you mind joining me in a moment of silence?
Yes.
Because we have just lost Ibn Masud. Ibn Masud was a good companion. He was really invested in Islam and really close to the Prophet. Ibn Masud did what a lot of people didn't do, and he fought against the grain. He stood up for the word of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And he's just been ran over by the bus. He was thrown under the bus, ran over. He's bleeding out, twitching because of the wheels, broken bones and all. Let's have a moment of silence for the companion, the honorable companion, Ibn Masud.
See you in another life, Ibn, man. Sorry it had to be you.
Sorry it had to be you, Ibn Masud. We're sorry. Even though the Prophet himself told us to take the Quran from you, Ibn Masud.
Oh, wow.
We have Muslims today that are denying, that are rebelling, that are throwing behind their backs Ibn Masud. The Prophet told us to take the Quran from you
himself.
But unfortunately, Ibn Masud was wrong. Ibn Masud was off. He has been usurped. and taken over by Uthman bin Affan.
I wonder if this is from like Wahi when he was saying this. You know what I mean? Because it's like, I mean, they don't believe that Muhammad can make mistakes. You know, a major mistake. You know how they play games. But like, I mean, I would assume if this person who y'all think is getting revelation, if he tells y'all who to take the Quran from, I don't think he would make a mistake on that. But here it is, ladies and gentlemen. The guy that Muhammad told you to take the Quran from, a Muslim, because he has to uphold this lie, has said that the person that Muhammad said take Quran from made a mistake. When he's just trying to tell y'all what to take from the Quran.
And so if notice what this means. If the dude that Muhammad told you to take the Quran from makes mistakes in the Quran, then that means that Muhammad made a mistake by pointing to Ibn Masud for you to take the Quran from.
Wow.
Muhammad made a mistake by saying, yeah, take the Quran from this guy. Wow.
What a religion.
What a religion indeed. What? My grandma's watching this. She dying laughing right now. What a religion.
Thank you for watching. If you've watched this far, I encourage you, don't just react emotionally. Think, examine, test the claims. Truth is not determined by volume, tradition, or majority. It's determined by what is true. If you disagree, that's fine. Bring evidence, bring sources, bring logic. But slogans, insults, and repetition are not arguments. The goal here isn't to win debates or humiliate anyone. The goal is clarity, consistency, and truth. If you found value in this, like the video, share it, and follow the page, because these conversations matter. And remember, faith that fears questions is not faith worth defending. See you in the next video.